Hey everyone, welcome to No Kings, No Problem. I'm your host Hayden, and today we're diving into one of the big political debates of the Renaissance: absolutism versus Republican democracy. Basically, should one ruler have total power, or should people get a say in how things run? Today, my guests are Tiani and Leah. Happening around the 14th to 17th century, the Renaissance was a time when people started questioning everything: religion, science, and pretty much every old tradition. Political ideas started changing too. As European countries grew, people argued over what type of government worked best. That's where absolutism and Republican democracy come in. So here's a quick breakdown. Absolutism is when a king or queen has complete power over the government. They make the laws, enforce the laws, they don't have to ask anyone for permission. A lot of them claimed divine right, meaning they said God chose them to rule. And you can't exactly argue with that unless God drops into the group chat. On the other side, Republican democracy involves elected leaders and shared power. Citizens or representatives make decisions together. It fits with Renaissance humanism, which focused on individual rights and the idea that people can think and participate in the government. Okay, Leah, what do you think is the main difference between an absolute ruler and a republic?
So the big difference comes down to how decisions get made. With an absolute ruler, one person has the final say on pretty much everything, such as laws, policies, and even everyday government decisions. There aren't real checks on their power, so what they decide basically just becomes the rule. And in a republic, it works differently. Leaders are chosen by the people, and they have limits on what they can do, and they're expected to work within a system of laws and other branches of government. So, a singular person cannot run the system, but power is spread out, so decisions are balanced and leaders can be held accountable. So really, it's the difference between one person in charge of everything and a system where power is shared and controlled.
Okay, Tiani, why did some countries choose kings while others chose elected leaders?
Well, a long time ago, lots of countries picked kings because it was easier to have one person in charge, so people thought a strong leader could protect them and make quick decisions. Some even believed kings were chosen by gods, but other places wanted everyone to have more of a voice, so they voted for their leaders instead. They also thought sharing power would keep things fair and stop anyone from becoming too bossy.
Okay, Leah, which system gives people more freedom and why?
Between absolutism and a republic definitely gives people more freedom. In a republic, power is spread out, leaders are elected, and citizens have rights that the government has to respect. Under absolutism, one ruler makes all the decisions, so people have way less control over their own lives.
Do you think an absolute ruler can ever be good for a country?
I think, yeah, an absolute ruler can be good if they are wise and make choices that help everyone. It is nice when a leader can act fast during emergencies, but the problem is if that ruler turns unfair or greedy, nobody can stop them. So even though it's possible for an absolute leader or absolute ruler to be good, it's usually safer when leaders have limits and people get a say in what happens.
Right. Do we still see signs of an absolute ruler in modern government today?
Yes, we still do see signs of absolutism today, even if it's not always called that. Some modern governments concentrate power in one leader or a very small group with limited checks and balances and very restricted political opposition. You'll see things like tightly controlled elections, censorship, or leaders staying in power for decades. So while it might not look exactly like old school kings and queens, the core idea of one authority holding most of the power definitely still shows up in parts of the world.
To sum it up, the Renaissance didn't just change art and science, it also changed the way people thought about leadership. The debate between one powerful ruler and a shared government was a major turning point, and honestly, we're still dealing with the ideas in modern politics today. Thanks for tuning in to No Kings, No Problem. I'll see you next time.